8:03 New England. I'm a little bit tardy. Oh man, I'm looking good tonight. All right, welcome. This is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Tuesday night. It's our Anyone Can Farm live stream. That's really what it is. It's a live stream. It's not a radio show at all. It's a live stream. And this is where we talk about everything homesteading, just plain living. Yeah, I'm going to have to adjust my thing here. Somebody else is using it. They make it different. All right. So today is Tuesday, October 25th. And here in northern Michigan right now, it is raining cats and dogs. Cats and dogs. And it's quite the day for me. You know, I woke up this morning and I just seemed to have a change of attitude towards a lot of things. And I also got two more strikes on my YouTube channel. So I've decided to take a little bit different approach to things. And, if you can't beat them, join them is what I've been telling people for years. And so I just, maybe you'll notice the change in tone a little bit. And, but maybe not, I have a way of working around these things, but I just have this feeling of wokeness now. It's permeating every part of me. And today I was going about my duties today, and I was just having different feelings about things. All good, but just a little bit alternative, I guess is what we would say. And I want to welcome Justin Z, JZ, my man. Looking good tonight, brother. Very good. Okay. So our topic tonight is going to be Mangalitza pig production and the homestead. And I know I've done this before. All right. Sergeant Zumwald's in the house tonight. Welcome. I think I'm a little. Yes, please hit that thumbs up. We're trying to get something done here. Looks like I need a little bit of a trim there on the old beard. Mangalitza pig production and the homestead. I've done this before, but apparently I said something in this that was insensitive. And so hence I've gotten my two more strikes on my thing. Inga's with us. Ben Carlson's with us. So that's why I'm going to be a little bit more sensitive, should we say. So before I start, I want to mention our sponsors of tonight's show. Hello, Belva. Number one is the Homestead Herdsman. You guys have heard me talk about this individual. It is Joe Higgins, and he has a new handle. We call him the Homestead Herdsman, and he offers quite a few services. And a lot of us have done quite well with a homestead milk cow, and I'm no expert on it. We do milk 4 cows, yeah, 4, and largely that's due to the help of Joe Higgins, because you can look around for a cow and you might find one, but is it really a cow that's worth having at your homestead? Not every cow is going to let you milk them or not be a real pain. Or, if you go to the sale barn, usually the cows that are there for a good reason. It's not because, I'm going to cull cows out of my herd. Let me cull out the best cow, right? No, normally it's going to be the worst cow. And I want to tell you, though, you should keep your cow ownership to a minimum, because it combats global warming. Okay, so let me just put that out there right there. We want to be sensitive to that. So you should probably only have 1 cow per adult person in your house. It doesn't matter whether they're male or female, or they could even switch back and forth. It doesn't really matter. You just probably want to limit your cows in the house to one per person. And the homestead herdsman is very sensitive to that as well. Okay. Our next sponsor, well, let me just go through some of the services that the homestead herdsman provides. Hauling, hauling large animals. Not all of us have uh, trailers and trucks to move that stuff around. And honestly, if you can hire a guy to do it, you're probably money ahead rather than keeping a big pickup around and a big trailer to haul a cow in. Unless you do it all the time, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have that equipment. And plus, big pickup trucks burn a lot of gas and it contributes to global warming. So we want to bring that to a minimum. Probably if the cow is over in the next town, plan out a couple of days, walk over there and then walk the cow back and plan to stop a couple times and don't let the cow eat too much because that's another global warming issue. Okay, and Joe does insemination, artificial insemination. He does preg checking, and he's just an all-around good guy, but person. He's a good person, and very sensitive. He's very sensitive. So, okay, our next sponsor tonight is going to be the Homestead. It's Homestead Provisions, and this is my good friends Parker and Lauren Holmes. And the name of their farm is Homestead Provisions. And you're going to want to see them for all your rough cut lumber needs. All right. Rough cut lumber needs. Also, very sensitive people, you know, um, if you need rough cut lumber, they can hook you up. He cuts down trees from around the neighborhood and then mills them up and then makes it available to us at a very reasonable price. And I've got to tell you, I only advertise for people on this show that I have used and are environmentally sensitive and provide a good service. And they're kind. They're kind people too. Okay? And I've gotten lots of wood from Parker, and it's good stuff. He's my new number one guy. I never did advertise for my other guy, but he was the only one around, and that was where I was getting wood. And I'm not getting wood there anymore. Compared to Parker's wood, it is, Parker's wood is really good. So if you need any of their services, whether it's the Homestead Herdsman or Homestead Provisions, contact Baker's Green Acres and we can get you hooked up with those telephone numbers. Okay? So, like I said, our topic for the night is going to be Mangalitza pig production and the homestead. I'm going to open it up to questions tonight because I know I've covered this before, but we did have to take this down. And because there was, I wasn't quite as sensitive towards global warming as I should have been. And since then, I have woken to the fact that the reason that we raise Mangalitza pigs is because they are so good for the environment. Okay, now you can raise any kind of pig you want, but there is no better pig available in the United States of America than the Mangalitza pig. It is the best pig for the environment. All right, these pigs, we monitored them, and as far as greenhouse gases coming out their back end, it is the minimalist of all the pig breeds, right? And this pig is actually endorsed by the Department of Natural Resources, and they've said so to me a couple of times, right? They really like this pig. So, first of all, where do I get off talking about Mangalitza pigs anyway? Why would you guys want to hear from me? What do I know about Mangalitza pigs? Up until this morning, I was an environmental polluter. I was a global warming denier, but I'm not anymore. Now I'm fully on board with global warming, and where we're going to be in a couple of years if you guys don't get yourself some Mangalitsa pigs, because they're so good for the environment. Other pigs, they're bad for the environment. This stuff, these ones are good for the environment. They actually combat global warming. Global warming causes a lot of problems. And when our internet flickers sometimes, global warming. Actually, um, food shortages in the United States of America, global warming. And another thing about global warming is it's very racist. And so we want to keep our global warming to a minimum so we don't participate in racism against anybody except guys like me, Irish people. You can with them. And it's actually good for the environment if you you know put down guys like me. Anyway, so I live on a farm in northern Michigan called Baker's Green Acres, and we've been raising Mangalitsa pigs since 2009. Right, so we were one of the original people that brought the animals into the country, and we're the only uh, producer that has stayed with it since 2009. Everybody else has kind of, run into a rough spot with it. Um, a lot of them are global warming deniers, so they just got out of pigs, and it's evident that they gave up. They gave up on us. They gave up on the environment, which actually is a horrible thing to do. But I stayed with it because of my stance on the environment, and so that makes us the longest standing producer of Mangalitsa pigs in the United States of America. So just the fact that global warming, I mean, some of you don't think that global warming is true. I don't know where that comes from, but just the fact that, um, we're not flooded from the glaciers melting is probably because I have stayed in Mangalitsa pigs, because as we've said before, they're very good for the environment. They combat global warming. I might be talking a little bit about it, but I'm kind of a zealot now that I've become woke over this. All right, Inga's with us. I heard Mangalitsa pigs don't burp or fart. That's probably true. Uh-huh. And your sorry poor spelling from Tim Milano. I don't get it. Maybe I missed something. Let me back up a little bit. I want to stay with what you guys are talking about tonight. Okay. Tim Milano says, I'm on fire. You're right, I'm on fire. Okay. Okay, Nancy's with us. Right on. And Off Grid with Dave and Sonia is with us. Good tonight. Two other warriors for the planet. All right, so we got into Mangalitsas back in 2009, and the time we got into them, there was other people that were heading up the project, and they were actually bringing the expertise into the country to raise these pigs and to process these pigs in accordance with old world technologies, as these people came from Austria, and like the husband didn't even speak English very well. The wife did most of the talking, and we learned how to process the pigs from them, and we learned a technique called seam butchery. And now that I've been around for a while and I've butchered a lot of these pigs, I see that there are similarities in pigs and the way they're being processed here in stateside. Um, our way is slightly different, and that's okay. There's lots of ways to skin a cat, as it were. Shouldn't do that though. But so we learn from them, And originally, the pig came into the country, and the men that brought the pig in were businessmen who saw an opportunity to have a very tight hold on who could get these pigs and what they would have to pay for these pigs. Because in European nations, you can get pink pigs there. You can the other white meat there too, but you can also get dark red meat, and usually the dark red meat is the heritage breeds, and those are the ones that they use to turn into charcuterie products, which, if I haven't mentioned, also very good for the environment. What I have right here is a prosciutto that is mostly gone, and it's been hanging there for quite a while, probably a year. But it's shelf stable, so I don't have to put it in a refrigerator. And you know what refrigerators do? They burn electricity. You know what that does. So charcuterie is the art of preserving meat and being able to keep it shelf stable at room temperature. That's a huge advantage. Huge advantage. When we talk about businesses and businesses that we want to run on our homestead, we're always concerned with that constant outflow of energy or of dollars that usually we're spending on energy. Fuel, electricity, and of course, when you're consuming fuel and electricity, what? Yeah, you get it. I'm sure you guys are probably catching on by now about my wokeness. Um, the businessmen that got into this pig, it took them a while to figure out that if you market to the classes, then you will live with the masses. But if you market to the masses, then you will live with the classes. So, what am I saying? If you sell Lamborghinis, let's say, and you're only selling them to the people that can afford them, then you're probably going to be driving a Ford Escort if you're a Lamborghini salesman. But let's say you sell Ford Escorts and you can sell it to everybody at the Ford Motor Company that needs to buy a car, then you will probably be driving a Lamborghini, right? So the notion that we can run a business, and we saw this firsthand. There aren't enough wealthy people around that, number one, want to buy a pig. Usually they have somebody else do their shopping for them, or they eat at restaurants or whatever. But for what we found, there weren't enough rich people that would pay $10 a pound for Mangalitza. That was originally what we were told that this pig would bring. And we wound up the pig wound up in the New York Times. We sold the pig to the Amway Grand in Grand Rapids. There was a few of them that went out at high dollars, but there wasn't enough that went, and so the program kind of fell through. The part of the program that did work was what they wound up calling the pig stock. Is what they At first it was just a joke. This is back in 2009, the very first butchering class that I went to. And the proprietors of it, made up a certificate, and they jokingly called it pig stock, kind of kidding around about Woodstock. And so when we did it in 2010 here at Baker's Green Acres, some of the businessmen that were involved thought that was kind of fun, and they called it pig stock. But then in 2011, they made the decision that they were going to do it in a different town at a grape orchard or a cherry orchard. And so they totally missed the discipline of raising this pig and kind of made uh, like a wine tasting party out of it. And the focus was off of chefs and farmers, and it was more on just rich people who weren't going to buy it anyway. And so it kind of folded up. But here at Baker's Green Acres, we got a hold of some breeding stock. I mean, outside of the businessmen who had brought the pig in, because we had determined just by going to the butchering classes that this was a really good pig. It was a superior pig. The meat is dark red. The fat is snow white. The fat is got very interesting characteristics to it. Nothing like pig fat that you would get like in pork and beans in a can. You know, you don't even really want to eat that, but this is really good. You do want to eat this, and you do want to make this a part of your diet. And so we stayed with it. Me and Jill decided, hey, let's stay with this because we like these pigs, and we had developed a market of people that also like these pigs. They were willing to pay a premium price for it, but not, an exorbitant price, like not like what you'd pay for a Lamborghini or any other, totally specialty stuff. We sell mostly to other families. I don't sell any to restaurants now. And the way our business is configured, I could sell to them, but they couldn't, per their agreement with the health department, they couldn't buy from me because I'm not a USDA certified butcher. So the agreement that they have with the health department is that they will use only USDA processed meat, and I'm not a USDA processor. I'm better than that. I'm just a guy processor, right? I have no licenses or anything like that. I do have a lot of certifications though, and I'm acquiring certifications as we speak. I don't know if I told you that, but it's one of the reasons why I can speak with authority about the Mangalitza here at Baker's Green Acres, because we have 100% certified, Baker's Green Acres certified Mangalitza pigs. 100% certified. And any of the pigs that we sell to people who want to get into the Mangalitza business, they're also 100% certified. Uh, we can even print out a certification if you like it. Sometimes I don't actually print them out if my wife's not here because I don't know how to make the printer work. And I just hand write them, and I can draw pictures on it and everything. And they're pretty nice certifications. And that certification is good until I revoke it from you. So long as you're nice, I won't take it down. I won't take it away from you. Hey, I see Dion's with us. Glad to have you. Dion's actually a certified um, Mangalitsa grower, and as he would tell you, in order to be certified, at least recently, they have to be sensitive towards global warming and other things too, woke things too. You got to be woke. If you ain't woke, you ain't gonna make it these days. So be woke. Be woke, my friends. Yeah, Dion was asking me. I actually saw him recently, and he was saying, because he's quite woke too, and he said, "Can I put two male pigs in the same pen?" And I said, "Sure, sure you can." He said, "Well, I don't get it. I have that going on, but they don't seem to breed." And I said, "Well, maybe you're going to want to try some counseling with them, or some medication to help them to breed, because of course, male pigs can breed, and if you don't think they can, then you're contributing to global warming, and that's all there is to it. And you don't want that. So be woke, okay? Be woke, my friends. Dion, he's an expert. He is. Well, no, I am. I am. And Dion is too. But we stayed with the Mangalitsa pig because uh, it was just superior grade of meat, and we had developed a pretty good clientele of people who wanted Mangalitsa from us, and we send out a lot of it every year, a lot of it. So now there were times when I would have a lot more pigs than I had customers. That was the case, but that's not the problem of the pig or the price of the pig. It's actually a marketing deal. So, and this is one of the reasons for going woke is because you want to be fair to everyone. Like you don't want to be um, unfair. You just want to be fair to everyone. And um, yeah, so I'm a fair guy, and I always do a fair deal, and I'm woke. And so we stayed with it because we had developed a clientele, and it was a good clientele. We probably took it to the next step, and a lot of our associate farmers, the woke ones anyway, they're following our lead. We've recommended that you own as much of any process that you do on your homestead. Like if you raise chickens, the next step would be, oh, do you butcher chickens? Do you process them? And another process there that you have to have mastered is, can you market them, right? And marketing is one of those things that you just have to stay with it. You just gotta, as my friend Dave says, you just gotta keep turning the crank, turning the crank, turning the crank, keep working it, and whenever you get a chance to make your operation a little bit more inclusive, you're going to want to do that so you expand your customer base and just give it time, and you will develop a customer base. A lot of the thought process is that if you get yourself all certified with government agencies, that somehow stores and restaurants are going to be beating your door down to get your product. That's not the case. Actually, um, in that case, you're selling to somebody that is going to have to sell it to somebody else. So they either got to get it from you dirt cheap, or they got to charge their customers a lot. I mean, a lot more. And usually they take the path of least resistance, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we'll take all you got, but only the pork chops, and only at this price." And if you say, "Well, I can't sell it at that price," they'll say, "You're probably just saying that because we're a restaurant and because we're Lithuanians." So when you do sell to other entities that have to resell it, you got to sell it to them at what they want it for, or else you're going to wind up in big trouble, and you could wind up being canceled, and you don't want that. So we recommend that you sell it only to um, you develop your own customer base, and if you have your own customer base, then you can butcher on your farm and you can sell it directly to them. There's not a problem there. Um, and that's only going to happen if the quality of the meat is good, right? So let's talk about the quality of the Mangalitza for a minute. We raise Mangalitzas. I have some what people would probably call full bloods. Oh, I think that's a bit racist when they call them full bloods, but they appear by their characteristics to be pure Mangalitsa. But I think that's a little presumptive, don't you? Looking at something by the way it looks and making a presumption, it's a little bit stereotypical, I think. But at least we go with it because we want to go with the flow on everything. So if they say that they're purebred, we say it's okay, it's purebred. And some of them are crossbreeds. There was a long, long time ago, we had a large black red wattle in the herd, and those male, or at least we think he was male, in um, his genetics seem to really hang on. They really hang on in the breed. So we would call those, they appear to be crosses. And so yeah, okay, Mangalitza crosses. When we get them butchered and get them in two halves laying on the table, you can't tell the difference. They look exactly the same. So the phenotype typical characteristics are only about skin deep on a Mangalitsa peaks. I hate to say that. Disgusting characteristics yet to be determined. Yeah, right. Buckle up for a great show. Right on. All right. So we don't have a hard time selling these pigs to our customer base. And we're always developing new customers to come in. And if the meat and the fat were not superior, it just wouldn't happen. If you don't have a good product, it's not going to sell. So, what makes the Mangalitza a good product? What makes it a cut above the rest? I would say it's probably two things, and I don't want to, divide it up like, well, it's 50% this and 50% that, because you know what that is. Um, and I don't want to be that way or be perceived anyone to think I'm that way, but it's probably characteristics. I mean, it's probably uh, the breed and then the environment that they're brought up in. All right, so from the time our pigs are young, they are in an environment where there's a lot of forages around for them to eat, right? And so they get used to eating turnips and rye and hay, green hay that we cut. I put a bale of green hay in, and they just rip through it. They love nice green hay, radishes, field peas. Um, let's see what else. Anyway, the Mangalitsa pig will eat just about anything and turn it into good, high quality stuff. If we have, let's say, I hate to have to say this, but let's say just white pigs, they suck. Let me just say they suck. But if we have them, the problem with them is they don't want to eat anything except a prepared ration. Like if you just put a bunch of turnips in with those pigs, they'll just turn their nose up at it. They want hog chow. They've been bred to do very well on hog chow, and I know that's been our experience. So I think that's an environmental thing. Like if they're brought up on hog chow, then they don't see grasses and things like that as food. So maybe if they were very young and we brought them up like that, maybe we'd have better luck with them. But we did raise those pigs for a while. Of course, we got out of that because it's just so wrong. But to have those pigs around, but they didn't do well on pasture. They did not do well on pasture. We had some skinny pigs walking around, and they would fill themselves up, but it didn't seem as though they could digest pasture. They they're not put together like that. They're not bred for that. Where the Mangalitza and the Mangalitza cross, old world breed, hasn't been in the States, but about 10 or 12 years, it hasn't been corrupted yet. I think that has a lot to do with it. So you have a tremendous advantage as a grower by growing the Mangalitsa because if you have a little bit of property, like my grow area is 300 feet by 100 feet, and I grow a lot of pounds, a lot of tonnage actually of forages for the pigs on it. Well, how do I do that, you might ask? Well, I'm divided into three different pens. I have minimal planting equipment and I have no harvesting equipment. I use the pigs to do the harvest. So I'm three different pens. They're all connected through an alleyway. And so I can start the pigs on field one. When they've worn field one down, let's say I had rye planted on that one, I can move them over to field two where I might have field peas. As soon as I move them over there, I replant field one. They wear down the field peas right to bare dirt. I move them over onto field three, where I probably have uh, daikon radishes. I do a lot of those. I really like them. Um, Once they wear those down to bare dirt, field one is ready to go with another crop of rye and so on. And the process just goes on all summer long. if you calculate the amount of tonnage that you get off those fields, it's staggering. It's just staggering. And you're doing something much bigger than just feeding a bunch of pigs. You're actually feeding the microorganisms that are in the soil there. There's bacteria, lots and lots of varieties of bacteria, lots of varieties of nematodes, lots of variety of protozoa, and the list goes on and on and on. And they all thrive off of the manure and the disturbance of these pigs digging out there. Um, these grow fields are not pastures, right? A pasture would be a plot that is in grass and the grass grows back, right? And you'll use animals on there like cows, pigs. No, not pigs. Did I say that? It's the racist in me. You'll use cows, goats, um, sheep, grazing animals, right? Pigs are digging animals. They're diggers. You have to be careful with that. Also, turkeys pasture quite well. Chickens pasture pretty well. You know, we don't want anything that's going to dig the pasture up. We just want them to nip off. Ooh, did I say nip? Just tear off a little bit of the grass and eat it. We don't want them to, take it right down past the roots. You don't want that because um, then you have to replant that pasture, and that's not the goal. We want that pasture to be able to grow back, and the manure from those animals on the pasture brings down a lot of really good bacteria and nematodes and all those things that stimulate the growth of the forage on that field. And forage, I mean grass. Um, there's lots of different types of grasses, and then you know alfalfa and the list goes on. The variety of species that grow on a pasture can be really wide, and what we have in Michigan would differ greatly from what they have down in Florida. Right? It's just not the same. Ooh. Okay, so that is a tremendous advantage that we have with this pig. And I'm talking about this pig from a business point of view. Excuse me. Can you make money with this pig? Can you make a gain with this pig? And my argument is you can make a better gain with this pig than you can with any other pig. Why? Because once your pig is sold, you have a lot less into it, right? If you've got, let's say, landrace pigs that are only going to eat hog chow, your bill to pay is going to be excessive. These forages, we plant them for very, very little. Minimal equipment. Fences are a must. And we've talked about the grow system many times before. You can access videos in the Anyone Can Farm experience on YouTube. There's some real good videos of the grow area, and see how we do that, see how we fence it, and see how we move the pigs around on it. And I do live demonstrations of, okay, this field is done. It's time to move her over onto this field. I open this gate. I open this gate. As soon as they walk across, I close this one. I close this one. It's really quick. And they're more than willing to go to the new field because there's fresh forage over there. Like, I will be doing this shortly before Homestead Hog Harvest, which is coming up here. Let's see. November 4th through the 6th, right there. Homestead Hog Harvest is going to be our first one of the year, right here at Baker's Green Acres. And we still have a few seats left. It's a great class. A lot of people have taken that. And to go home to their homestead the very next weekend and process pigs. Now that's how I gauge a success. You know, we do a training the very next weekend. They're going to their place and they're doing it, and I'm real proud of the people that did that because it's not easy. It's not easy, but they have a leg up once they've done it. And I already heard stories this weekend of, oh yeah, we're setting a date for to process some pigs that just we need to get in the freezer for, our provisions for the upcoming winter, which could be a doozy. A doozy. Yeah, it could be a doozy this winter. I'm hearing that the globalists are planning to really bury us with snow. That might be a conspiracy theory, though. I got to be careful with those. That's not part of the wolf culture, is to talk about conspiracy theories. It's just a theory. Anyway, I have lots of theories. All right, so we stayed with the Mangalitza because of the feed conversion, their willingness to eat anything and create good quality pork. We stayed with it for the quality of the meat. And as a business, there was a certain level of reliability. Most of the things that we do, if we do well at them, then we stay with it. Like pasture poultry, we never have a hard time uh, converting. It's a better way to say this rather than saying selling. It's a conversion. We get these baby chicks, and then we have them for 60, 70 days, whatever, and then we process them, and then we convert them to dollars because we need dollars for a certain number of things here on the farm, right? Now, for lunches and dinners and breakfasts, that's coming right off the farm. So it's sort of the conversion happens right in the kitchen, and then it winds up on my plate. Um, but some things we need to sell to get currency back that we can use to buy some of the things that we need. So chickens are a really easy conversion, and pigs, once you get your market going, it takes a while, but once you get it going, it's kind of hard to shut it down. You have people calling and saying, "Where is my bacon?" And where are my pork chops? So we start our first pigs to be butchered is going to be this weekend coming up right here on the 4th through the 6th, and so that'll be a good thing. And it is one of those businesses that it just clicks along, and every year it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and um, our sources of feed expand, and our experimentation here on the homestead has yielded new things for us and new ways of feeding our pigs, right? New ways of farrowing our pigs, and it's actually quite exciting to run that aspect of the business because there's some intricate parts that I would like to share with you. Most of them have to do with butchering. I mean, you really don't need any facility at all to butcher a pig. Maybe a tree limb to hoist your pig up into once you've uh, put it down. Like probably with a 22 rifle or maybe something a little heavier than that. Um, a 9 millimeter, something like that would be okay. You don't need anything real heavy. I do most of my killing with a 22 mag, which I've shown you that. It's just a little bit bigger than a 22 long rifle. Not much though. And accuracy is the key. You want to place that bullet in the perfect spot. And I know I'm going through this. This isn't really a how-to. This is a why it's a good thing to do. That's what it is. If you want the how-to, you got a couple options. You can go to the Anyone Can Farm Experience, and you can join the Tribe Plus membership for 49 cents a day. 49 cents a day. And then you will have access to a lot of the how-to on these things. The Homestead Hog Harvest course that's available on that platform is not free. It's offered at a reduced rate. And the course that we offer here on farm, it's 2.5 days, and that's not free either. Um, okay, Ballistic saying juggling chainsaws will train you to be a good YouTuber. I planted some of those seeds there, Ballistic. The pigs liked them. I'll leave it right there. And they got big in a hurry, too. Um, let's see. So to build out this business, it's more than just, okay, I've got a boar and a sow, and they make piglets. Yeah, I sell piglets for sure. We get a pretty good jag of money for those. But the other aspect of it is to be able to take them to full size and butcher them, and then sell the pieces parts out. That's very doable if you have the training on that. Um, the pig is known for its superior quality to be turned into what's called charcuterie, and that is a whole nother discipline. Wouldn't you know, though, Baker's Green Acres offers a class on charcuterie right there. All right. It's going to be after the beef butchering class. This is going to be our first one that we are actually doing as a anyone can farm class. We've done a little bit of impromptu beef butchering here with friends, but weren't sure we were going to do a class. But now we're ready to do the class. But the charcuterie class we did last year, and that's preserving the meat, like I have right here, to be kept at room temperature, stable, shelf stable at room temperature, and for later consumption. It's become kind of a delicacy. Like prosciutto is very, very, very expensive, and especially good dark meated pigs, really, really expensive. And if you know how to make prosciutto, a leg like that is worth quite a bit. Uh, we've seen them as high as $1,500 for them. They have a way that they test it and they grade them. I don't do that. I just sell them the way they are, and I sell them for $2,500 a piece. Only to certain people, though. No, we don't sell them for that much, but we do get a lot more for them than just regular hams because they are really outstanding. And this is not cooked; it's cured, and it's just you slice it off with a knife very, very thin, and it is really good stuff. Then Dick D, any courses planned for mid-January? No. Maybe it'll be too cold, but I'm looking like I'll be making a pass through Michigan around then. Around then? No, nothing in January yet. Maybe January is a good time for us here in Michigan to go to Texas. That's what we did last year. The only problem with that is when we got back, the pool was frozen over. So it put a real kibosh to our morning swims. All right, there it is as a business model. And I know that I'm just hitting the high points on there. Um, I only recommend things on here that I do myself or that I have done myself that have worked out pretty good. And the Mangalitza species on this farm has probably made more money for us than anything else we've done. At one time, the state did not want, and I use the word the state very loosely, Department of Agriculture and Department of Natural Resources did not want this pig on the ground here in Michigan because it is so superior to any of the pigs that are raised in confinement that they didn't want that to get out of hand. You know, anyone makes from lard, they get from processed pigs. Yeah, we don't. That we've never got into that, but we have people that are in the tribe that do. If you're not Donnie, if you're not a member of the Anyone Can Farm tribe, that might be a good thing to do. Go run to Facebook if you're a member there and put in Anyone Can Farm tribe, and then I will thoroughly vet you and maybe let you in. But the way it works is the private sites like that. We can show butchering photos, we can show guns, we can show, whatever we want really, and they don't have a problem with it. But on a public site like this, that's what they classify this. I have to be PC at this point. I can't really speak my mind about things, but it doesn't matter because I've become woke anyway. So I am usually right in line with the people who monitor my radio channel here. Like I said, we do have this Homestead Hog Harvest coming up. All right, Jill's saying we have two people from the tribe that do. So you go there and learn. And same thing with you, Sunset Heritage. That's the whole purpose of the Anyone Can Farm tribe. I was explaining this the other day. Um, I got a little bit of pushback on calling this a tribe. And, of course, had I been a little bit more woke at the time, I would have probably called it the clan. But I wasn't very woke back then. I called it the tribe. But I justify that in that, I'm partly Indian. I am partly Indian, or at least I identify as partly Indian. So I can get away with that, and I actually my intentions are totally pure. Um, uh, and it's because Indians are great. They're great, not all of them, I suppose, but the way that they lived for a long time before they lived the way they live now, it's not doesn't look so good. But for a long time, the chief of the tribe, he was very invested in all the braves, in training them, equipping them, and there would be many chiefs in a tribe. Nobody was trying to be the chief. The idea was that let's get everybody trained up. Everybody's good at doing this process, and we will all do better because of it, right? Let's not fight amongst ourselves over turf and, markets. There's plenty of market out there. You're never going to saturate the market, never. There's so many people in the United States. This is a big, big country. And if you produce a quality product, you will have a shiny path to your door. That's the reality of it. Um, Cheap products, people don't want cheap products anymore. Well, at least I shouldn't say everybody doesn't want cheap products. Some people, because of the State of the Union, they got to have cheap products. But, a lot of what we talk about in the tribe is intentional living that has a lot to do with how we manage ourselves, how we conduct ourselves. Should we be in debt up to the hilt? No, actually, homesteading helps us to eliminate debt, right? Because we're so busy on our homesteads, we work our job during the day, we work our homestead at night. We don't have time to be out at the bar, gambling and womanizing or manizing. I want to be careful there. Um, and we're able to uh, be disciplined with our finances and not spend money that we don't have, right? And a chief of a tribe would not want the Braves running their credit cards up. He didn't want that back then. I think they had was it MasterCard back then, or was Apache card they used to call it. But he didn't want them running that up, because then it put him in a bad way. And when it was time to go north, they had to go south. So that wasn't good. So the idea of the tribe is to help everybody get trained up. So if you go on the tribe and say, hey, who can do an instructional on soap making? If somebody is willing to do it, they can post it on there and can make a class out of it. We can actually have you all here to do a soap making class. We've had canning classes here. We've had soils classes. We've had, turkey butchering classes. We've had chicken butchering classes. That gives me a good idea. We should do turkey butchering class. I can get you guys to come and butcher the turkeys for me, and I can charge you money to learn how to do it. That would be good. All right. Abundant Living is saying we have a membership on our website, Donnie, the Tribe Plus. You're going to want to join up there. Let me talk a little bit about the Tribe Plus, if I might, for a minute. We'll just let the Mangalitza Superior Homestead pig, let's let that rest for now. I want to talk about the Tribe Plus. All right, we've been running the Tribe now for, I think it's 2 years, and we've got 1,700 members on there, and we are working with my second oldest son to build up the Anyone Can Farm experience, to have a lot of high quality instructional videos on there, how we do things, and those go on the Tribe Plus. If you are a Tribe Plus member, right, you're paying your 49 cents a day, you have access to all of that, right? You have access to me on Wednesday nights. Not this Wednesday night. Right now, we're every other Wednesday night because we only have a small group of people that are taking advantage of that. And that is what we call the consulting call. It's a Zoom call on Wednesday night. It's been working out really good. I'm surprised that some of you all haven't, showed up on there. It's really great. You can come there with questions about things that I'm really good at, that you guys know I'm pretty well good at everything. And I can answer your questions, and it's like a consulting call. So because I'm really good at everything, I do consulting. I go to other people's farms, and I get paid really good to do that. And it's not that I'm so superior, it's that I really don't have time to do that out of the goodness of my heart. So I have to charge quite a bit, or people will say, "Oh yeah, come on over on a Saturday. Yeah, come on over. Hey, I'll give you $20. I'll pay for your gas." I don't have time for that. And plus I'm running my farm, and anytime I take away from here it's big for me. I mean, that's a tough thing for me to do. I don't leave the farm very much. The farm for me, with the Anyone Can Farm experience, takes up a lot of my time, like most of my time. It really does. But it's what I do, and my drive to share this information with as many people as I possibly can is my mission. That is my mission. That is what I feel like I'm here to do right now. And to do that, my son Joe is helping. Now, I get him 1 day a week, right? And he's making all this content. If we can build the membership up a little more, like maybe half again as much as we have right now, I could get him 2 or 3 days here, because he has to be paid. He's got a young family, and he has to be paid too. And we can provide far more content. And what you are doing when you join the tribe, you're dedicating 49 cents a day that you're pledging to help us do this, but you're investing in something that you can see happen before your very eyes. Like, I would not do something like this if I thought, it'll peter out in a month or so. I don't do things like that. I have already burned the boats. I came here in wooden ships and I have burned the boats behind me. We are going forward with this to victory or defeat. But I have a feeling it's going to be victory. Why do I feel that way? The state of affairs in our country, for one. Our commander in chief, whatever you think of him, comes out and says, hey, we're going to have to live with some food shortages here. He's telling you there's going to be food shortages. Whether he's lying or not, I mean, they've used food as a weapon for as long as history has been recorded. And you know that they don't even tell history correctly a lot of times, but they don't leave out the part where they starved populations. And how did they do that? Oh, they did that because they centralized food production, centralized it, and then they came up with reasons why we can't feed you and we can't feed you and we can't feed you. And their reasons are probably going to be something like monkeypox or some other scientific reason. If you haven't been watching what's gone on the last couple of years, I kind of pity you. You probably should get off of here and just go put your mask on and sit in the corner and make plans for your next milkshake, right? I don't want to give out advice, that kind of advice, right? So when you invest in the Tribe Plus, you're in actually investing in America, right? Now, let's say you invest in it, you stay with Tribe Plus for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and nothing happens. Ditch it. Just pull out. I'm not asking people to stay with something that's not working. I believe it's going to work. I believe it already has worked. If you go on the Tribe page, or the anyonecanfarm.com, and you go on there and you look at all the work that's been put into that website, that all had to be done. That all had to be, someone had to be compensated for that. It didn't happen just poof. It didn't. Here to tell you that. But what did I do? I said, no, I'll invest in this because I think it's going to pay out later. And those of you that know me know that I do things for reasons other than just, I'm not a money grubber. I do this show. I used to do it 5 nights a week, but the direction of the tribe is such that I really have to have a farm that's uptight because you're looking to me for expertise on homesteading. If I don't have my poop in a group, why would you listen to me? So I have to work on my stuff and get it in a group because every year we find there's more people coming to Baker's Green Acres and more and more. I don't want people walking past projects that are half finished and things like that. We have to get our poop in a group around here because I think where this is going, um, I believe all boats will float higher. So please invest in the Tribe Plus. Do me a favor. There's 1,700 people in the tribe. You get to go there and learn and post things and buy things and all kinds of things. And we mediate that. Help me out. I'm asking you to help with this project, to actually invest in us. And it's an investment in yourself because you invest in us with the Tribe Plus, you get access to all that stuff. All that stuff we've produced. Um, you get money off to come to, or you get a break on the Homestead Hog Harvest. You get a break on the charcuterie class. You get a break on the beef butchering class. And, there a time is coming when, if you have my signature on, let's say, a hen's tooth, that signature is going to be worth money. I'm telling you, I'm going to be famous someday, right? And the Anyone Can Farm experience and the tribe is going to be like the NRA. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than going to the moon, right? And I'm kidding, right? I'm kidding around a little bit, but not really. We have people flocking to the farming world, the homesteading world, in numbers that we've just never seen before. And I have to chalk that up to the American spirit. You know, you have this cross section of people. It's a growing group, but it's not a huge group right now. But the percentage of Americans, it's quite small, but there's a lot of Americans, right? So um, people have looked at the gloom and doom that the media is telling us all the time and said, I'm tired of that. I want solutions. And Anyone Can Farm Tribe is about solutions. You know, it doesn't do me any good to sit here and day after day say, you know, there's going to be food shortages. I'll say it once in a while. You know, I'll say, yeah, okay. If I do nothing, if I sit on my keister and complain, there's going to be food shortages right here in my kitchen. But if I get off my backside and I go to work and I use my head and I glean all the information that I can about how to run a homestead, we're going to be living in a wealth of food, right? And that wealth of food is not the kind of food that makes you crazy either. That's the kind of food that makes you whole, that makes you able to think and make your body able to function properly. And I'm not kidding about that. I'm really not kidding. You guys know that I went carnivore a couple of years ago and I dropped like 30 pounds. I didn't even know that I was fat. And I'm not body shaming anybody, but I did. I dropped 30 pounds. I felt way better. Brain fog gone, ringing in the ears gone, knee pain gone. All those things I thought just chalked up to being 60 years old, right? And now I don't have any of that stuff. And I kind of fell off the wagon. And I didn't realize that a lot of those conditions had come back. Ringing in my ears had come back. Um, Pain, inflammation had come back. But I was like, yeah, but I sure do like eating that bread. And it is nice to just be able to grab a handful of Oreos now and again. And I did that, and then I realized just a short time ago that my diet is making me it's altering my thought process. And you know, one of the techniques that we use in problem solving is getting a hold of your subconscious. So you ask yourself the question, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? You ask yourself that question before you go to sleep at night, and you may wake up during the night like, ching, I got it. I woke up in the morning a short time ago and said, I know why I'm feeling like this. I know why my mental state is not it's not steady. You know, I'm not steadily solid. You know, precise. All the things that you all know me for. You know, steady pillar of strength. Um, and it was because my diet. And so, you know how they'll have guys that will give a quote, and you know you'll have the picture of the guy looking off into the distance real profoundly, and then his quote will be written down here. I saw one with Richard Branson. It's a really cool quote. But I have a quote, and my quote is, I'm but two pizzas away from insanity. And that's no joke. When you clean out your system and you start feeding it what it needs, which is not a bunch of carbohydrates, it's not a bunch of sugars. Um, you actually walk around with a glow in your psyche, and you almost kind of a buzz. And when you lose that, you lose it very slowly, almost like you go into this fog. of nothing's really that fun, you know. So anyway, I am back on carnivore, and this time I'm staying. I'm having to eat a little bit more beef than I used to before because my stomach is kind of stretched out. But before I was only really eating one big meal a day, and then a little bit towards the end, and then um, you have a tendency to you're actually fasting. You know, if you're only eating at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then you're fasting the rest of the time. And it's easy to fast while you're sleeping, and then get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, go to work, and then by 2 o'clock, hey, I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat the table, but I'll just eat massive amounts of grass-fed beef, and then I'm good. So that's where I'm at. Drink a lot of water, put salt on the beef. I'm okay with certain other things. I'm expanding my things that I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat kimchi because I think that it's good for my gut bacteria to help with digestion. And then I'm going to eat some nuts, some salted nuts. They work for me. Anyway, what do we got here? Somebody's saying that they dropped their dentures in the toilet. Donnie Mono. Donnie Mono. That almost sounds like a fish reel company. We do turkey, chicken, and rabbit processing workshops on the property in North Idaho. North Idaho. Tell me something, Donnie Mono. Do you know a Mr. Owen Benjamin? We teach everyone who's interested how to do everything we know. I might just fit in here. Sounds like you might. I'd like to know if you know Owen Benjamin. He lives in North Idaho too. Looks like we found some like-minded people, Donnie. All right. Donnie says, I just dropped my phone in the bathtub while I was washing my kitchen DDL. If I disappear, you'll know why. Is there an email list of members? Is there is is there is there community? Anybody in North Idaho? I don't think there is anybody that I know of in North Idaho right off. Um, I'll tell you, your next question is there any way to connect with people here in real life? As I've said, I think Anyone Can Farm Tribe is getting ready to really exponentially grow, and we're actually contingency planning for that. Like anything you do on the internet, you just keep staying with it, and then all of a sudden, you put up a video, and instead of it getting 500 views, it gets 1,500 views, and then that just pushes it to the next level. And there's a lot of folks out there that are looking for uh, how-to videos, especially from a woke guy like me. How-to videos, how to do things. How to be a homesteader, um, attitudes towards it, things like that. And when that happens, I would like to be able to have Anyone Can Farm tribe meetups like we did. We had Tribe Day here. We've had it 2 years in a row. The first year we had over 100 people, and that was kids and adults. This year we had 100 adults, and I didn't even know how many kids, but there was a lot. It was a total success. We had people come from Friday afternoon on, camp out Friday night. People camped Saturday night. Heck, we had people that stayed for 3 weeks afterwards over at our campground. It was awesome. But I would like to see that happening in every state in the country, and then a couple in every state, depending. Some of the states are pretty good size. Like in Texas, I would think you would have to have at least four. And so many people that just want to physically meet up. I have to admit, anytime that comes up, our tribe um, day, our tribe meetup, our tribe weekend, people just get a fun look on their face. They just have fun. Just good. It's just good, clean fun. I don't know if there was drinking going on or anything. Like, we don't really advocate for that. It was just sharing ideas and attitudes, and maybe a weirdo or two here and there, but it's okay. I mean, people can be who they want to be. Uh, you can access the tribe on Facebook. Anyone can farm tribe and then go from there. Do you know where Sandpoint is? Sandpoint, Idaho. Just became a member. Right on, Tim. See, I just did what's called an ask. I asked you guys to help me with something. That's what's called an ask. So all the year that we've dedicated all this time and effort into the tribe, now we finally gotten to a place where we said, okay, we are ready to go to the next step, and I ask for help. Just 49 cents a day from every member. But can you imagine if 1,700 people helped with $1.49 or 49 cents per day? What that would be? Oh, we would have a guy helping Joe. We would get him some good cameras to work with. He would have all the props that he needed. Our commercial farming could just get scaled way back. As far as content goes for the tribe, then we would have to kick it into overtime to pad the tribe plus with enough content that anytime you open it up, there would be something new. And then, so what do we do then? Then some of the people that are in the tribe, I'm calling them up. Hey, Justin, we're on our way. We're coming your way with the bus, right? Because we want to have a bus with the Anyone Can Farm logo on the side, a school bus actually, but outfitted for very utilitarian purposes. So when we show up at a farm, there can be various reasons why we would show up there. One reason would be like going to Justin's place hey, he has put together a very unique operation there, very different than my operation. I mean, but I think we would see stuff in his operation that he may have gleaned from this channel, maybe gleaned when he's been here half a dozen times that he's been there. I think he's coming this week. I think he's coming this winter too to something else. But we would go there and get content from him, like, hey, how did you do this? What is this system for, and why did you do it, and how did you do it? That would be outstanding content for the tribe. But then the bus might be used and the staff might be used to go to a farm where there's a struggle going on. Something has happened. There was an incident that happened where there was a bad car accident, and one of um, our fellow homesteaders lost, her husband, and she was badly banged up. And I thought at the time, if we were where we need to be, we could swoop in there. We could call on you guys to come and dedicate a little time, and we'll get this place running. We'll get it running. So the bus would have like a compartment with all of our tools in it, and I'm not kidding. We would even put a trailer behind it that we could put a small tractor on, that we could really do some damage when we go and do things. Or I don't know, maybe a startup operation where people need help, maybe something like that. We could do that. Or hog harvest classes. When we go to other farms and teach, the bus would be a good place that we can scratch our butts while we're in it, and we don't have to impose on anybody else's living quarters. You need a place where you can take a shower and relax a little bit after a long day. So there is no end to where this can go. And I don't believe that we're going to exhaust the number of people in our lifetime that need to be trained on sustainable farming or resilient farming. Those two words mean so much, so much. I mean, all the kidding aside about being woke. I mean, I am really coming to you saying, hey, we need your help. We want to do this, but we need that. We need a dedicated crowd around us. Actually, let's say that um, I just wanted to build something like this, let's say, and let's say I won the lottery. I don't play the lottery, but let's just say I did. And then I just built it. It's nowhere's near the same thing than if you are all contributing a little bit. And then, I'm one of the leaders in the tribe, and I see a clear direction that we need to go. And I say, this is the direction I think we need to go. And then 1,700 people behind me say, you want 49 cents? I'll give you $1. Let's go. Darn it all, let's go. Instead of waiting, for President Trump to get reelected or whatever, let's do this ourselves. Let's do this. And people have questioned me in the past, and I didn't like the way I was questioned over this because I've maybe made it seem as though if everybody were homesteading, then everything would be fine. And the question was, oh, you think everybody homesteading is going to save the world? Maybe. But I tell you what, sitting on our keisters and doing nothing, that ain't. Just waiting for somebody to get elected. Oh, they'll save us. Oh, yeah, right. They'll save us. No, I don't think so. I'm not taking that risk. I tell you what, I'm going where I say I'm going. If you guys want to go with me, help me. But one way or another, I'm going. And I've always said that. And I appreciate that, Tim. I appreciate you having confidence in me to do that. Let's see. Is there a P.O. box that I can send things to? No way I'm going to give YouTube 33% of my money. Why would you be giving YouTube 33% of your money? No, you're going to want to join the Tribe Plus, right? So you go to anyone can farm experience, right? .com, and then look around and you'll see join Tribe Plus. Boop, you go on that, and then just follow the directions. But you don't want to be doing it through YouTube. We're not even to the place where we can get super chats. That that's the low hanging fruit. Like if you do a show like this and all you're looking for is super chats, I'm not sure that that's where the real wealth is. Like, for instance, we do the Homestead Hog Harvest class, right? Let me just tell you how this really goes, because we've asked other people, to host the Homestead Hog Harvest on their farms, and they have done it. And we've gone to their farms and we have taught on their farms. So we've seen this real time, what this is about. So, okay, Homestead Hog Harvest is done on my farm. Here's the numbers. We have 12 people that we allow to come in. It's $650 for the 3 days or 2.5 days, however you want to add it up. But it's 3 days of my time, 3 days of my wife's time, 3 days of my daughter's time. She runs hospitality. We hire one of her friends to come and help. My son is here, and he does pictures that we send to the participants so they can show their friends what they did. The $650 dwindles down pretty quick. Oh, we provide 1, 2, 3, or 4 meals to the entire group. And then, we're using our shop and our electricity and all that stuff. So it dwindles down pretty quick. and you're left with, a chunk that pays for our time, pays for the animals that we process. But the real value there is the human participation, right? You have an Andy Zumwald that comes, you have a Justin Zilka that comes, you have, um, I don't know if Tim, you never came to one of our classes, I don't think, or did you? Yes, Tim did come to one of our classes, Tim Milano. I'm sorry. Um, these are very intentional, and if I left you out, I'm sorry. I don't know. These are very intentional human beings, and they become team members at that point. Now, what kind of walls can we break down with a team like that? I mean, just those guys that I just mentioned. Then we've got Stumpos, we've got the Clerics, Zilkas, uh, Carlson. They actually stopped by here. I got to meet them. We got Nancy out in Canada. As soon as old Justin's put away, she's going to come down and visit with us. Um, we've got the Ghost. We've got, so we've got a really good tribe. We've got Inga is here all the time, never misses a show. Keith Sutton, he's always precipitating with Baker's Green Acres. So we have a good team, and the list goes on and on and on. If I missed you, it's just because I'm missing brain cells or something right now. So that is the real meat of this, is bringing people together in a community and all of them moving forward in their homesteading operations. Why? Because if they get good at homesteading, they'll get good at other things, right? If they're homesteading, they're fixing their own cars, they're fixing their own equipment, they're making things, building things, growing things. That's what makes America strong. It minimizes the choke points that the enemies of America can get their hands on, right? We educate our own kids. Things like that. I'm on a rant tonight. I guess it's because I'm back on the carnivore diet. Let's see. Andy Zumwalt says, I know Sandpoint. 25,000 a month. 25,000 a month if we get them all, really? Come get some. Oh, that's what you're going to contribute. You're a good man. 25,000 a month. Give me that. Give me a break. Wait a minute. $1,700. How about that? You're right. You're right. You could do a lot of damage with that, Justin. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know it was that heavy, but a lot of damage with that. You would be the new Marty Rainey. Who is Marty Rainey? Sherry's Golden Pup 11F1. Sherry's Golden Pup. Who is Marty Rainey? You'd think I would know Marty Rainey. Okay. Donnie's saying, I just found this channel. I'm trying to get my bearings. Is the info for what we're doing in the description? Donnie, you're going to want to go to the anyonecanfarmexperience.com. Start right there. There's a phone number in there. If you need to call the farm, by all means, call the farm and talk to Jill. She's the head administrator for now. We want to change that. Tribe Plus has been very beneficial for us so far. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. I do know, Owen. Well, I'm going to ask you for a little favor. I would really appreciate it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Owen's a big homesteader, and I would like to help him. I would like to help him if I could. I'd like to cross pollinate with him. I like him. I do like him. I think he's got a good heart, and I think he's got the best interest in mind for what he knows. He's got the best interest in mind of the majority of people. I know he specializes in being a little outrageous, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I think Owen's a good guy. All right. I just joined the Tribe Plus. Haven to Zoo. Right on, my man. Right on. Right. I'm fired up today, Haven. I am fired up. When you stop watching Oprah, you will find out who Marty Rainey is. Justin, Oprah helps people. She really does. You want to hear a good story? You got to hear this. This story is so good. This one of my favorite funny stories. When I was in the service and I was at about 19 years, I was in 19 years. So, I know my way around pretty good. And I had a lot of junior officers working with me. And I really like our officers. You guys know I do. But I would kind of kid with them a little bit, And officers being guys that come in and they can be brand new in the service, but they have more rank than me, and I've been in 19 years. But generally, they're pretty good guys, and they know they don't know much, and they can take a ribbing. But one time there was this guy, and I knew him pretty well. He wasn't a super troop by any means, and he was kind of a mean guy. And he was at the orderly room. I was on the commander's staff at the time, so I was moving around, and I was somebody. I was in the orderly room, and this guy was there, and I stopped to talk to him, and he was doing his paperwork because he was retiring from the Air Force, and he was retiring early because he just wasn't having a good time, and there was this young officer there. I don't remember his name, but I remember he had red hair and freckles, and he was just a, wet behind the ears type guy. And he goes, Sergeant Jones, so what are you going to be doing with yourself when you're out of the Air Force? And he was expecting Sergeant Jones to give him some lofty, well, sir, I'm going to be continuing my formal education. And Sergeant Jones didn't say that. He said, well, I'm going to catch up on some Oprah Winfrey that I've been missing since I've been tied up with this job. And he just left it right there. He was totally straight-faced, very dry. And Sergeant Jones, this lieutenant was like, oh, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you, Sarge. Oh, I wish the best for you. And this Jones guy is looking at me like, is this guy not getting it? Anyway. All right, TV show Homestead Rescue. Marty Rainey and his adult children help people fix their homesteads. Hey, maybe I could join up with him and help him. TV show Homestead Rescue. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll have to check it out. I don't know it. Justin saying, Mark, do you know the guy up by you that has a YouTube called Andy's Little Homestead? I do not, but I have seen that. One of my kids turned me on to it and said he was really a lot of fun, and I've seen it. He's kind of fun. Yeah, and it'd be cool. Like if we could get them in the tribe and come together with these guys. There's a lot of good homesteading channels out there now, a lot of real good ones, and I think we're not all going to be the same, and we fill in some of the gaps where other people fill in the gaps other places. So it takes a village, though. I know people have heard that before. I think I'm the one that made that up. I think I said that when I was just entering basic training, and I was asked why the hell I had something in my footlocker, and my response was, well, sir, it takes a village. And the training instructor said, oh, I see. Carry on. Anyway, I've gone on tonight, and I'm fired up. I can't wait for tomorrow. I have a day of just full work. I like to tell you guys what I'm doing around the homestead. I put in a new chicken area, and I had put the finishing touches on that last week. Not completely done, but functional, and really have enjoyed that project. I'm going to get a rollout nest next, and I thought about building my own, but I don't know. I just want to bolt it to the wall and be done with it, and it's you know gonna be done. But then I'm working on the, our maintenance area. Those of you that were here last class, it was open air. And so we've put windows in all along the south side. It was quite a bit of work, but for the homestead hog harvest, sometimes we have inclement weather. And so we've for a long time believed like we need to have an area that can be big and under roof in case we get rain. We've been real lucky, all these years that we've done it. We've had decent weather, but now we're prepared. If we have to move in, we move in. Um, Homestead hog harvest. One of the themes of it is we're trying to show people how to do something with minimals, right? And so we don't accentuate like the butcher shop too much because you don't really need it. You need like a surface to work on. Could be a hay wagon, so we use a hay wagon. You need something to pick a pig up. We happen to have an overhead hoist because we do it a lot, and but you don't need that. You could just use a tree limb or hang it off of I don't know, a gin pole that you could make, or make a tripod out of trees that you cut down in the forest. There's all kinds of ways to do it. But for training purposes, we've decided that where we're doing so much more training of adults, that we're going to run into a time when it's just raining cats and dogs, and it would just be a complete wash. The charcuterie class that we did last year, it was our first one. We had a very cold, windy day. So the parts of that we did outside was nasty. Right? Justin was there. All right. I got to get going. I appreciate you guys hanging with me tonight. Thursday night's going to be our interview night, and we're going to have a very, very special guest. I can't tell you who it is because he's concerned with his security, and if certain enemies of the country knew that he was going to be here at Baker's Green Acres, his life could be in jeopardy. So I have to keep it a secret until that night. But he'll be showing up here. He may have to be incognito, but we hope to be able to show you his face at some point. All right. So let me finish that up there. Donnie, maybe you could pass my information to Owen and show him. I tell you what, if you would do this, go through the Anyone Can Farm experience on YouTube, right? Just go there, go through the videos that are on there, and pick one out. If you know Owen, pick one out that you think will tickle him, and then send it to him and said, "Hey, I was talking to this guy the other night. He's a big fan of yours." and then, if he wants to contact me, I would love to go on his show because he's a lot like me. He's a solution orientated guy, and his bear meetups provide solutions. The thing that he's doing with Ursa Rio and all that. That is a way to provide solutions to a lot of the stuff that we're all spun up on that are going on in the United States. We should be ignoring most of it and just raising chickens. Ignore it, learn how to butcher a beef. Ignore it, learn how to butcher a cow. Ignore it, milk cows. Ignore what they're doing. because they draw you into the narrative, and the narrative is usually pretty stupid. All right, but hey, I just did the Jack Spirko show last Wednesday, and I have always liked Jack Spirko. When I listen to him, I say I like that dude. I like the way he's steady and he's I don't know how to put it. Sober, I guess, about reality. He's sober about it. And so I did his show, and I listened to the podcast today. I did it last week, and I just listened to it today, and I really thought it was pretty good. I thought he drew out some really good points, and I believe Mike Adams's interview with me was good too. I think he drew some good stuff out. A lot of people listen to Mike Adams, and see, this is why I think that the tribe could explode because, okay, Mike Adams gets out in front of a bunch of people, and a certain number of those people are looking for solutions to this problem. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear how bad things are. I want to know what to do. And if people don't know what to do, and we provide a solution, we offer a solution, and it fits them, if they run with it, then they're doing what they can do. And it will not go out void. You're doing the work that we were meant to do, that we were created to do. That will not go out void. It will not be for nothing. That's what going on. It will not be for nothing. I know that's not good English, but you know what I mean. I had a kid in the service that wanted to get out, and he says, "I'm tired of working with people who are dumber than me." Dumber than me. All right, I got to get going, but it's been a great show. I appreciate everybody's input here. Love you guys. Okay, let's see. I think that's it. We're all done with input. Appreciate your input. Oh, Ballistic, had a good day cutting firewood today, and I will sleep well. And I hope you guys a good rest also. And Ben says, "What's up, Donnie? What's up?" All right, get over there and join up the tribe. Join up the tribe. All right, I'll see you guys. Good night.